Well, hello and welcome back. I am still on such a energetic high from this weekend that I thought I would jump on and do a little mini bonus episode. Did you know this last weekend that I was presenting at the Energy Healing Conference in Sandy, Utah, and it was such an amazing experience. It was incredible to just be surrounded by so many high vibrational people. There were some people that I've only known online and I got to meet in person, and I was so excited about that, like Jana McKinney, who was on last week's episode. That was so fun to get to know her, and our booths ended up being right next to each other, so that was a lot of fun. And I was able to attend one of her breathwork exercises live, which was a truly incredible experience. I just might do an episode at some point on it. I'm still kind of integrating that experience, but it was really a beautiful experience. It was just so fun to be able to meet people, to collaborate with other people, to meet potential guests for this podcast. I met someone who practices emotional freedom technique and was another presenter there. So that's kind of tapping. I don't know if you're familiar with tapping, but that's what that is, as a way to help to regulate emotions. And so she may be coming on the podcast. I was also gifted a book by an author, and in that book, she shares her personal story where she had been really reliant upon external voices for how it was that she showed up, and really finding her own internal voice and allowing that to be her guide. It was just so amazing to meet all of these people, and I'm really excited about these guests moving forward and what this podcast is going to look like and how it's going to be evolving. There are going to be some slight shifts. As you know, this podcast, it's been dedicated to the helpers, the healers, and the people pleasers. Those are kind of the side effects or the symptoms or the roles that we take on when we are deep feeling, highly sensitive or empathic people. And I really want to provide more content here for the empaths and the highly sensitive. My class this weekend was called Mastering Empathic Sensitivity. And in that class, we talked about the empathy scale, and I helped people to identify where they were at on the empathy scale, as well as how to deepen their own personal levels of empathy, and how our empathy and compassion can actually help to minimize pain and increase healing for people. It truly is a superpower. And it was really neat that as people were coming in to my class, I could see that all of the seats were filling up, and soon all of the seats were full, and people were even standing along the back wall. The class was completely filled. And this showed me that this is something that is really needed by many people. It's something that is really valuable. I mean, sure, maybe they all wanted to come to hear what it was that I had to say, but I think really people were coming in there wanting to feel seen and heard and understood themselves. They were seeking to have that community. They were seeking to have that understanding. And it was really beautiful to have that shared experience with everybody. In fact, I was told afterwards that up to that point, I don't know what the other classes were like. I was at my booth, so I didn't get to attend many of the workshops. But I was told by multiple people that up to that point, my class was the most full of all of the classes that had been presented so far. And that was so humbling and inspiring and touching for me, that I could see that, okay, this really is something that people need. People are seeking this level of comfort. They really want to know that they have that level of love and support. It's really easy for the empaths and the highly sensitive people. They're very good at making other people feel seen and heard and understood. However, they have a hard time finding those spaces where they truly feel seen and heard and understood. And in fact, a lot of people that came to my booth for the one-on-ones, I'm already getting choked up just thinking about all the people that came to my booth. But they were seeking exactly that. They wanted a place where they could talk about their experience with somebody that understood. Because then they could just talk about their experience, right? Instead of talking about their experience and also, what does this mean? And, well, I don't understand how you're experiencing the world in that way. And it requires so much effort sometimes to explain how it is that you engage with the world. And that they came to my table and my booth because they felt like they'd be understood there and that they'd be safe there. And I was deeply touched by that. So thank you so much to those of you that came to my booth. It was really fun to just see the people that I resonated with, and to see the people that were really sensitive to energy. It's just a different experience to be in their presence. There's one gal that came over, and I was just offering mini sessions, for just a minimal fee. And one of the gals was looking at it. She's like, well, I'm kind of tight on money. I'll kind of think about it and I'll come back. She took about 10 steps, took a U-turn, and came right back. And she said, you know what? Something inside of me just told me that I need this. I need to talk with you. And we had such a beautiful heart-to-heart conversation about what her experience is like as a highly sensitive person, as an empath. It was a truly beautiful experience. There's somebody else that came to me, and just a young guy, and he just said, hey, I just really feel like I'm supposed to come and sit down and talk with you. And I don't understand what's happening to me. And he started to just describe some things, and I was able to tell him a bit about what's going on and help him to identify the story that he had around his experience, and help him to find a story that was just a little bit more supportive, that was more honoring of the strong protector that he is. It was just amazing. There were so many experiences, and of course, so many of them are private to the individual, but I may be incorporating those stories here into the podcast because I really want us to learn and grow from each other. I want us to step into our heart energy. And in fact, that reminds me of another story. There was one woman who came to my table, and she was asking for support around shielding and trying to just remain grounded as she's experiencing everybody's emotions all around her. And she said something that has helped her is she makes herself smaller so she can fit inside of her heart. And she uses that heart energy to ground and to center. And I told her, I think that's beautiful. I think it's beautiful that you know and understand that you lead with your heart energy and that you tap into that heart energy. And then I encouraged her, instead of making yourself smaller, focus on enlarging your heart. Don't make yourself so small you can fit inside of your heart, but expand your heart energy so it's so large it encompasses you and whoever it is that you're engaging with. Because as we lead with that heart energy, as we lead with that love and that compassion, that's truly a superpower. And we're definitely going to be talking about that a heck of a lot more here on the podcast, because I think people need to hear that. It's really easy to think that our level of sensitivity is a curse rather than a gift. But it truly is a superpower. You truly can heal through that gift. So now just to share a few fun things about the conference. Oh, you guys, it was so much fun. My most favorite was when my daughters came to help me at my booth, which I deeply appreciate. It was really nice to have them there with me, and so that they could experience this with me was really beautiful. But it was really fun as we were setting up the booth. They kept looking around and they're like, Mom, you're everywhere. They're like, look, that's you, and that's you, and that's you. And while me and the people around me looked different, we had that same energy. And that's what my kids picked up on was, wow, there are people in this world that have your same energy. And that's absolutely what my experience has been. It was just an amazing experience to be surrounded by other people who are truly seeking that self-development, who are seeking to better themselves, who are seeking to connect in with themselves on a deeper level so they can better show up for others in this world. It's all of those helpers and healers, right? It was a room full of helpers and healers and those high vibrational people. And it was just amazing to be surrounded by them. In fact, even when our booth wasn't very busy, we all just kind of sat there and soaked it in. And my daughter, one of my daughters, who is an empath, then she commented, she's like, yeah, it just feels so good to be here. I said, yeah, right? Like you'd think that we'd be exhausted sitting at a table for 9+ hours a day. But we were energized by it because we were surrounded by such amazing people. It was also a lot of fun for me as I was walking around the conference to be approached by you guys. I had multiple people come up to me and say, hi, MaryAnn, you don't know me, but I know you. I follow you on social media. And it was so fun to be able to meet them face to face and become better acquainted. There was one woman after my presentation that she just came and she didn't even have words. She just looked me in the eyes and she just cried. And that we could feel into each other's energy. And I knew that what she was experiencing was finally feeling seen and heard and understood. And it reconfirmed to me that, yeah, I need to provide more content here on the podcast for this population because we're all seeking that. We all need that. And I was deeply moved by it. It was amazing that as I was presenting, everybody was nodding. They were making audible sounds like, oh, of mutual understanding, that they were feeling seen and heard. And it was really beautiful and amazing that I also felt so seen and heard through that experience. And I could see it is truly mutually beneficial. Okay, so one other side note that I'll share here. Another one of my favorite things that happened at the conference was the creator of the event, Tammy Anderson-Ward, was walking by my booth and she just said, yeah, I'm just looking for somebody to, spontaneously teach a class for teens. And I said, I'll do it. She said, really? I said, yeah, why not? And so I had 15 minutes to prepare for a 50-minute class for the teenagers and the young adults. And it was a very small and intimate class, but I enjoyed it so much. It was so much fun to just talk with those teens and hear their insights, hear their questions, hear what's going on for them, and to offer up just some practical tools to help them with setting their own energetic boundaries, to help them to ground and to shield, to help them to be a little bit more resilient when it comes to the negative energies that they're receiving from other people. And this might just be energies, or it might be negative comments or labels that other people are wanting to place upon them. But that was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed teaching that class for teens, and how fun to show up at a conference and to get a bonus class. I mean, that was awesome. So yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed the conference. I totally think I will do it again. Now, I know a lot of you are wondering if the recording is going to be made available for my presentation. And yes, the recording is going to be made available. My family's taking a trip to Arizona, and then we're going to need some time to edit and make sure that the sound is right and everything. But I am going to be making that recording available. So make sure that you are subscribed here on the podcast, and also come and find me on social media. I'll be letting you know on there as well when the recording is available, and provide some quick links so that you can access that recording, because I really do want to show up and better support you, the empath and the highly sensitive person, and help you discover what your true gifts are. I also want to let those of you listening here on the podcast know that I did create something that I was going to keep as a conference exclusive, but I'm really feeling led to share it with you. I'm just feeling a lot of abundance, and so I want to share it with you as well. But I've created a guided journal, especially for empaths and highly sensitive people. This is 78 pages of journal prompts to help you to learn how to better understand your own empathic ability, to help you to know how to ground and shield, recognize better what is draining you and what feeds you and fuels you, to help you to better distinguish between what it is that you are experiencing from somebody else's experience. And so I encourage you to come and click the Linktree link in my show notes, and that will take you to get your free downloadable guided journal. I really want to just help and support you on your individual journey, so make sure you come and check that out. And also, as I have been reflecting on that class that I did, I'm really feeling drawn towards doing group work. If you would be interested in doing group work specifically with other empaths and highly sensitive people, will you please let me know if this is something that you're interested in? You can either email me, or I believe that there is now a give us feedback little thing that you can click on the podcast episode, wherever you're listening to it, to give me feedback and let me know that's something that you're interested in. But let me know if that's something that you feel drawn towards. If you think that there would be some benefit to having a group program specifically for this population. I really enjoy working with people one-on-one and helping them to develop their individual gifts. And also, I could really see the benefit in us learning from each other and basically creating a mini conference, right? Where we have the opportunity to be surrounded by other people that are really big into personal development and have that understanding of what is it like to be a highly sensitive person. So if you're interested in that, please come and let me know. So I just want to keep this brief since it is a bonus episode. But yeah, I just wanted to acknowledge what an amazing weekend it was and how nice it was to meet all of you. So thank you to all of you new listeners for being here. I hope you feel of my energy and that we are still experiencing that heart cohesion together, that we can continue that connection here on the podcast. And again, yeah, I would really love to work with you. So if you are interested in working with me, yes, the group work will be coming later, but right now I do currently have a few more openings for one-on-one coaching. They are filling up fast. So if you are interested in working with me one-on-one and developing your skills and abilities one-on-one, or better understanding what your experience is, come and apply to work with me. I'm currently offering 6-week packages, and this allows us to meet on Zoom once a week for 1 hour and really focus on you. I know that you are somebody that really invests a large amount of time and energy and love into other people, and I know how much you also need to have somebody invest into you, and I would be honored to be that person. So should you feel led to work with me, check out the show notes, and there will be a link to where you can go to apply to work with me. It will also have links to all of my social media. I am on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Clapper. I wasn't even familiar with Clapper until recently. So come and find me. I am all over the place, and I would love to connect with you on a more intimate level. So thank you so much for being here. I really genuinely love you guys, and I am grateful for your presence and your influence on my life. All right, I will see you on Thursday. Have a great one. Bye.